Crazy couple years for you.
Sure.
A lot of people probably would have never predicted the way it played out for you, maybe even yourself. But when you come back the way that you do, you walk through that curtain and you make your way down. And even before that, I think people kind of knew. What was that moment like for you to come out and get the reaction that you did?
There's a real small clip of me telling Brandy, actually, right before I did the elevator up. I told her if it goes awry, head to the bus, because I was sincerely of the thought they might not welcome me back. I started a rival wrestling promotion, and I had been very adamantly angry and broke the throne and all these things, and I'm still angry, but I think they understood it wasn't so much about how I had left and more about just coming back. Everyone at WWE management, when we did those negotiations, kept saying, oh, you're going to come home, you'll love it home, home. I never really thought of it like that. And then WrestleMania happened, and I thought, well, this is definitely a home for sure in terms of just what a reception. And I love that the WWE management was so kind to me, but if the fans aren't, it don't matter. And they've been amazing. This has been the most gratifying short run, because I ripped my chest off, short run of my career, but it definitely has motivated me for what's next.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the pretty nasty coloring there.
Yeah.
What was the reaction to that, working through that, and how's the recovery going?
I mean, I don't know, old school folks might not like this answer, but my biggest concern was not me. My biggest concern was Seth. If I'm going to compete with literally one pec muscle, the other one was tucked under in my sternum at this point, I can't do that, and no one can get injured. I tell my students all the time, you'll always wrestle hurt, don't wrestle injured. And then I went out and wrestled very injured. 10 times out of 10, I would have made the same choice, though. Huge crowd. Great moments, and a main event. I just couldn't. I felt like it would have been ripping the fans off. So, and it was already hurt. It was already hurt.
Okay.
So, and to be able to win and go out on a win like that, just one of my favorite memories for wrong reasons and the right reasons, but definitely something to remember.
So I think it was only. I think you had a few matches on Raw, but it was really those matches with Seth.
Yeah.
One, what is it like doing the series with Seth? And what are some matches that you have in your mind that you want to get done?
Well, I look at like Steamboat and Flair, Chi-Town Rumble, Music City, all that stuff, and the way they were able to string together that much time in the ring together and keep people's suspension of disbelief and capture their imagination. I hope we could do anything like that justice, but it definitely opened a lot up in terms of who's left. There's so many people who are left. The guy he's wrestling at SummerSlam this weekend, Matt Riddle, is somebody that I love to mix it up with. I definitely, he's on the injured list as well. Randy Orton and I, as much as it's fun to hug and such, we do need to figure it out. There's a guy who helped train me. I could go on and on. Kevin Owens and I have never really been able to cross paths in a sincere way. That's somebody I'd like to mix it up with as well.
Where do you see yourself at this point in your career? Are you one of the experienced guys who's trying to mentor everyone as possible, or do you still see yourself kind of on that younger side of I'm not really ready to take a backseat to anybody. Obviously, you just got back, so.
Well, I think somewhere in the middle, because when I tried, at AEW, I was a mentor and was there for a lot of talent, but it was very difficult to do that and be the guy they were also wrestling in the ring with. There's something that's, I feel like, almost a conflict of interest about it. I'm not saying it is, but it didn't feel like it was manageable for me personally. And now I'm pretty to myself. I don't need to give away any of my secrets. I gave enough of them away when I was at AEW.
Right.
I'm pretty to myself, and I'm always there for somebody, whether he ever asked me to or not. Like the first day I was there, I wanted to make sure Dominic Mysterio had my number. I've been there. It's a hard walk ahead of you, but hoping he can absolutely make the best of it. So there are those young folks who didn't get to wrestle Undertaker, John Cena, people like that, and I was able to be in the ring with them. So all I can do is pass on what they knew, and I can only do that when asked.
Is it so crazy how much has changed during the time you were gone when Taker's not there? Randy's obviously, he's hurt right now. Cena's not there. Yeah, do you kind of look around the locker room and say, maybe I do have to kind of be a little bit of a mentor like you mentioned with Dominic?
I think it's changed so much. It's unrecognizable to me as far as the return until I see someone like a Kofi or an Xavier Woods, someone that I knew really well. But one of the things that it's changed is such a healthy company in terms of I am 2 months out of surgery here, and they won't even give me a timeline because they're afraid I'm going to try and overtrain,
right.
come back too soon. And
Right.
the medical team, man, they've just been so wonderful to me. But yeah, with that change, it also kind of highlights for you, you're a grown up now. You know, even though I showed up at 20 years old in WWE, I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
It's time to be a grown up, and having a daughter of my own makes it definitely is a different chapter in my career.
As we wrap things up here, we're in LA. I'd like to think maybe you'd be back in time for WrestleMania when they're here in LA. How excited would you be to get in a stadium like SoFi and compete at WrestleMania once more?
Well, for me, I want the top. So it doesn't matter who's asking me, whether it's Stephanie McMahon or doesn't matter. I want to be in the main event of WrestleMania here in LA, at a beautiful, essentially brand new stadium, and to be able to do it like only WWE is able to do WrestleMania. And that, of course, I've been on the other side of the coin, so I understand the challenge, and it's a beautiful challenge. But for me, coming back, having unfinished business, looking for a certain chip of my own, that's the spot to do it.